Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. As always, my name is Soko, and this is my channel where I talk about anything I want. And today, I think it's time to have an honest conversation about spreading lies on the internet. We are in the era of fake news, and commentary channels are not doing anything to stop the spread. Fake news, as in, stop believing everything you see on the internet. Just because you see it on the internet does not make it true, which means everything you come across should not be spread to your 300,000 subscribers. Today, of course, I'm talking about the Lewis McClung, Denki Jabo, and Cataclysm situation. I'm not even really sure how you pronounce this lady's channel's name, but I'm just sounding it out, so I might be messing it up. I'm just gonna call her Katie for the rest of the video because that's what Lewis calls her, so I'm assuming that's her name. Today, I'm mostly going to be talking about their apology videos and why I personally believe that they are not enough. You almost ruined a man's career based on senseless accusations. So I actually had subscribed to Lewis McClung when he had 10,000 subscribers. He ended up blowing up from his Freckled Zelda video, and within like a month, he had hit 100,000 subscribers. That was a crazy ass jump, and I was so jealous of him. I ended up unsubscribing from him around 3 months ago, not because of something he did, but I just didn't really find his content very interesting anymore. I actually got a little fed up with the written by a woman type of male YouTubers, if you know what I mean. This really had nothing to do with this drama, though. I'm getting sidetracked. The reason I brought this up is because Lewis McClung's rise to being well known is the fastest I've ever experienced in my own eyes. I'm going to talk a lot more about that later. But for now, I want to talk about how all this feels too chronically online for me, like creating drama out of literally nothing. There are actual abusers and misogynists out there who deserve to be called out, and when you spread false information like this, over someone still following a content creator or using his thumbnails, it really undermines real victims. So this all started when one of these two made a video calling out Denki Jabo or Jesse for being a misogynistic abuse apologist. I'm not really sure who made the first video because they have both been deleted, but I did try to figure it out. Couldn't, so here we are. This allegation stemmed from nothing other than thumbnails and a follow. I'm not going to go over the whole I'm Alex controversy. I do have a video that I will link at the end. But long story short, Alex was outed as an abuser about 6 or 7 months ago, and he is the reason this whole thing got started. Katie and Lewis' videos about Jesse are very similar, something that's very easy to notice. But I guess you could say that about every commentary channel. They both go over the same reasons why they believe Jesse is a misogynistic abuse apologist. They mentioned that Jesse uses the same thumbnails that Alex does, with the way it's set up in like the yellow font. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but the majority of YouTubers have similar thumbnails. That's how your video gets boosted on the algorithm. Not that I would know because no one clicks on my videos. What's up with y'all? What's up with that? I'm funny, I'm hot, I have great takes. Hmm? Katie herself uses these types of thumbnails, so this isn't even a good example of Jesse and Alex being friends. It's just kind of stupid. I had to pause right there, but I got out of breath. I'm gonna be out of breath this whole video. You gotta deal with it for the next 3 months. I don't give a fuck. Something I noticed when Lewis had complained about the thumbnails being similar is that when he flashes Alex's videos on the screen, two of Alex's videos are almost watched the whole way through. If you're gonna call someone an abuse apologist because he has similar thumbnails to someone, can't you say the same thing about you watching that abuser's content? And granted, you could say Lewis might have watched those before Alex was outed as an abuser, but the same applies for Jesse, who has been using these thumbnails before that as well. They claim that Jesse was being mentored by Alex, when in reality, Jesse was Alex's editor up until 6 months ago, where he says he hasn't talked to him since he got his last check around that time. They weren't friends, and it was nothing more than a business situation. To make it seem like Alex's editor would know about the abuse is crazy, when Alex's own friends came out and said they didn't even know. That's kind of how abusers get away with it for so long. People don't know. Lewis and Katie could have just called Jesse out for his weird sexist language he uses when he's talking about problematic women versus a man. Lewis could have just stuck with being the white knight in shining armor. Katie, not so much, because that would make her a hypocrite. Because she has videos slut shaming women and accusing them of being pedophiles with no proof. So it just seems to be a common thing for the both of them to just spread false information. The other example they have of them still being friends is the fact that Jesse still follows Alex. When Jesse gets caught out for this in an Instagram DM, he makes a dumb deflective joke about the annoying orange, and while he could have handled it better or not responded, I imagine most people wouldn't react too kindly to people DMing them solely for drama. Like I said, he should have just ignored the message. And I get that still following Alex is weird, But not everyone flocks to social media as soon as a celebrity gets canceled. Instagram isn't exactly the first thing my mind goes to when people get canceled. The two main reasons they used are nothing more than nitpicky at best. I get YouTube drama was slow, but I'm sure you could have found something to talk about instead of making up false allegations or jumping on them as soon as you get the news and painting it as fact. I understand as a commentary channel, you want to be on top of the drama that happens. The faster you are to post about it, the more views your video will get. But this isn't the first time Lewis has thrown out extreme allegations and being proven wrong, or at least not getting the full story. With the Pumpkin the Gentleman guy, as cringe as he was, Lewis came out full swing calling him a pedophile and accusing him of liking little kids. You can't exactly do that. I mentioned earlier just how quickly Lewis McClung blew up. I was there to witness it, and it was crazy fast. That would be hard for anyone, I think. You're going from getting 10 to 20,000 views per video to 600,000. That's a lot of pressure to please people and make new content. And I think Lewis still makes content as if he is a small account, if that makes sense. But he is no longer a small account. He has over 300,000 subscribers, and with that comes responsibility. You can't accuse someone of being a pedophile or an abuser and then just delete the video and act like nothing happened. Everyone's seen it. That is extremely irresponsible, especially in today's society where people are just looking for drama and people to cancel. Cancel in quotation marks because actual bad people deserve to be platformed. And this isn't just like even targeted towards commentary YouTubers, but also you guys as well. Yeah, the people watching this video, the people watching Katie's video, the people watching Lewis's video. The internet is always looking for someone to cancel. Anytime someone is shown to even be an ounce of a bad person, social media jumps on them. They will look for any excuse to paint a YouTuber as a bad person. People online do not really care about whether things are true or not, especially if it's about a YouTuber or a celebrity that they already don't like. It just further pushes their agenda. I seen the comments on Denki Jabo's video before he came out with his side of the story. I seen the dislikes. People in the comments telling him that his silence is a sign or to speak up about the accusations. And I need you guys to form your own thoughts. Maybe we should all use our common sense and come up with our own opinions on people instead of just blindly following whatever a popular YouTuber tells you. Like, I understand always believing the victim, but there was no victim in this. It was just baseless accusations. Like, I feel like most people attacking Jesse were just doing it just because Lewis and Katie were. They flocked to his comment section as soon as those videos were posted. No hesitation, no waiting to see how this plays out. Just a bunch of YouTube watchers who think everything is owed to them. Look at how late I'm covering this drama, but I don't care. Sure, my views might not skyrocket, but I was able to get all sides of the stories before I got on here and accused someone of being an abuser. I think that automatically makes me better than people who jump online and spew things for clout, sorry. That was partially a joke. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. I think that's how we grow as people. I used to have like a YouTube channel when I was younger that I deleted. I've mentioned this a few times. My maximum amount of subscribers was about 86, I think, which is somehow less than I have right now. I made the mistake of covering the Slazo drama on that channel before it came out that it was all made up. I felt stupid. I mean, my video only got around 200 views, I believe, but it still made me feel like shit just jumping on a bandwagon, and I made another video apologizing for it. I was an extremely small creator, younger than Lewis McClung is, and I had more common sense to not double down and just apologize. I wasn't even the one who was pushing the Slazo narrative, nor did I have enough subscribers to even push it out there. Lewis McClung is the one who got this Denki Jabo drama off the ground. Yes, Katie was the first person to make a video about it, but Lewis has over 200,000 more subscribers than her. Lewis McClung's apology video is only around 4 minutes long, but I would like to go over it. After his, I'm gonna go over Katie's, which is longer but just as unavoidant when it comes to accountability. The no thumbnail and little description on both videos is really funny to me. I'm not sure why. On January 12th, Lewis McClung posted his apology video titled My Response to Thank You Jabo, and the video sits at 3 minutes and 44 seconds long.
I'm really sorry. To Jesse, to my audience, to his, to whoever overlaps. I'm sorry for any harm I caused by spreading my ideas as fact.
I'm only 8 seconds into this video, but I need to pause it. I already have something to say. There is a reason when accusations come out, YouTubers have to put allegedly before the issue. There is a reason you cannot get online and straight up call someone an abuser without evidence, especially if you are not the one being abused by that person. All of Lewis McClung's videos are just him spreading his ideas as fact. But that applies for Katie the same way. Katie claimed that Jesse would end up the same way as her abusive ex-boyfriend, which is a crazy fucking claim on its own, but even crazier for Lewis to take that and back it up as facts. You cannot take a baseless claim like that when it comes from nothing but a lady's personal opinion and trauma. She handled it in a bad way by tying the two together, but Lewis handled it worse by injecting himself into this for no reason.
I apologize to all my fans that I hurt by misplacing your trust, and I apologize to everyone who took my word as fact and then acted upon it and now feels bad about doing so. And it's not your fault. It's mine for insinuating any of it. I apologize to Danny Jabot, Jesse, for making him feel like he needs to out himself. That was never my intention, but it still happened, and I'm still extremely sorry for doing so. Do not feel good about it in the slightest. As two ace people, I hope one day, in the very far future, that we can be part of the community together.
I think people are too focused on themselves. I would hope that you don't feel good about forcing a YouTuber to out himself. That was never my intention is such a cop-out answer because yes, it was your intention. You purposely posted these accusations in a way that you knew would try to ruin someone's career. You knew nothing good was gonna come out of this, but because you got caught out for it and Jesse had to come out, you are now backpedaling. Because you both are asexual, you are suddenly hoping to be part of the community together. I don't understand why Lewis feels the need to bring up the fact he's also asexual because it's irrelevant. It feels like he wants brownie points or to avoid the forced outing solely because he's also the same way. But that's not how that works. You still force someone to come out.
Because I had some things in my possession, some quote-unquote evidence that if it was true, it would be very bad for him. To all people saying I was blackmailing him, that was never my intention. In a lie that I greatly regret doing, it was a huge mistake. I almost showed this, again, quote-unquote evidence, without consulting him. In the heat of the moment, when I almost showed it, I then also, in the heat of the moment, decided I shouldn't do this without talking to him. And by that point, it was too late, and I had already mentioned this quote-unquote evidence.
We are a minute into this video, and Lewis has mentioned twice that none of this was his intention. Lewis was just hoping to post this video and be hailed as a white knight standing up for women against all misogynists and abusers everywhere. He was expecting comments like the ones he got on all the other videos where he talked about men being gross. And he did get those comments. He was getting the praise and glory until Jesse had come out and bucked against him. Until Jesse came out with his side of the story and people were starting to believe him. But the reality is, even when Lewis was reacting to this, he doubled down. He acted like he was still in the right. At that point, he had expected his subscribers to be on his side still. It doesn't seem like he realized how bad this was until after the video, when he finally decided to try to take accountability and make this 4-minute video. Lewis describes the fact that he was blackmailing Jesse down to a T. He has something in his possession that, if true, it would be very bad for him. Those are his exact words in that clip. To follow up with "it was never my intention" is so crazy to me. If there's one thing men have, it's the audacity. You are avoiding accountability by constantly repeating that line. Like, this apology is not shit, Lewis. You are basically deflecting. I'm going to stop pausing as much because this video is going to be like an hour long if I keep nitpicking every little thing because I still want to go over Katie's video.
Also, I wanted to be very clear. Katie did not come to me for me to make this video. I went to her to ask if she had any more evidence on the subject. She then just showed me what she'd already posted on other sites like YouTube and Twitter, and I went on my way to make my script and then to make my video. For those who are mad at me, I do not blame you. You have every undying right to be fed up with me. But to say that Katie threw me under the bus, and then for those of you who are out there mocking her abuse, that is too far. That is why her and I made our videos in the first place. It was to address a situation in which somebody could possibly be mocking abuse.
Speaking of Katie, is this an apology video or another White Knight video? You spend longer trying to defend Katie and act like she has nothing to do with this than you do taking accountability. I don't feel like now is really the time to play Superman, little bro. Katie can address herself in her own video. This video is already super short. A video where he's supposed to be apologizing and taking accountability. That alone should have been 4 minutes, but instead he goes on a 2-minute speech about how Katie isn't the one to blame. She deserves the majority of the blame. Yes, people shouldn't be mocking Katie's abuse and trauma she suffered, but you cannot sit there and act like she didn't throw you under the bus or didn't have a hand in this.
I will only upload videos on subjects where I take the ample time to find proof, as diligently and as long as it takes for me to do so. I will learn, and I will grow. This was a huge mistake on my end, and I only made it worse by hopping onto a stream in the heat of the moment when I did not have my full opinion settled. And I deleted my live and my video as to not spread any more hate to his side of the internet. Now that I know I have done damage, I will not allow any more to be done to anybody else except for me. But in this situation, Jesse is justifiably angry, and I am justifiably getting a lot of shit. And that's all what needed to happen for me to realize that I was very, very wrong. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who held me accountable.
Doing research and taking your time with things is something you should have been doing. Saying that you're going to start doing it now, after almost ruining a guy's reputation, isn't exactly very bravo to you, especially because you went back on your word the next video you put out. In your dream call out, you go back to your little, "I'm just relaying the allegations" type of video. You've gotten a lot of shit before with the pumpkin guy, but because another YouTuber didn't call you out for it, you just kept doubling down before quietly deleting the video. If this was all it took for you to see your ways, you wouldn't have made this video. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and good night. Now, I'm moving on to Cataclysm because I have a lot to say about her, and I do not think enough people are speaking about her. Even the dislikes on each of the videos is telling. Everyone is trying to pin this all on Lewis, and I don't think that's right. Katie is the actual reason that this drama happened. She's the one who was telling Lewis these things, even messaging him during his live stream when trying to get him to defend her. And as you can see, he kept defending her well into his apology video. Katie's video was posted on January 13th, and this is at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, so she has around 5 more minutes on Lewis.
I want to apologise for that live stream being so all over the place, and I want to apologise for making you feel as if you had no other choice but to make a video, because ultimately whatever was said on our call was not anybody else's business other than our own, and I should have been more mature just to sit down with you and have these conversations and hash out in private, rather than the outcome has meant that a person has had to come online and defend themselves based off of ultimately was a private phone call that I was not happy with the result of. I do, however, want to make it clear that in the call I had with Jesse, it was not made clear that he was not friends with Alex. It is not my business whether Danky Jabbo is friends with Alex or not.
Holy shit, we are a minute into Katie's video and it's somehow worse than Lewis's. Apologizing to this man for baseless accusations and then following it up with, but also he did this, so is not an apology. Especially when you then said that it's not your business whether Jesse and Alex are friends. If it's not your business, then what the fuck has this whole thing been about? If it's not your business, then why did you make a whole ass video calling him out for being friends with Alex? Even now, you are using their friendship as a way to deflect the blame. If it's none of your business if they're friends, why did you feel the need to mention that it was never made clear on the phone call that they were not friends?
In all seriousness, guys, this type of behavior is only the beginning. I've seen more often than not when stuff is just surface level, it gets worse and worse. Something that was definitely a bad move was for me to talk about my ex in the same sentence. I do not want to go into me talking about my abusive relationship. It's not relevant, and I would by no means want it to come across as if I am, trying to play the victim card, because that's not what I want.
You implied that because Jesse was friends with Alex, it means he will likely become an abuser himself. You made a baseless accusation based already on a baseless accusation. You cannot say that someone is going to become an abuser solely because they remind you of your abusive ex. That is like me saying someone with a funky little mustache is a pedophile. But wait a second, because that's something you already did, Katie. You accused Lily Tino in a video so transphobic that you had to delete it of being a pedophile because she plugs her OnlyFans on TikTok and goes to Disney World. You know how many women plug their OnlyFans on TikTok? You don't make videos about them calling them a pedophile, though. So you're just constantly throwing around terms you seem to not know anything about. It feels really odd to feel the need to defend yourself so much and still kind of try to throw Jesse under the bus in a video where you titled it My Apology to Denki Jabo. Because the only apology I've heard so far was 2 seconds at the start of the video, and the only accountability that we've seen so far is you calling yourself stupid for doing these things, but then also trying to justify these things. Make it make sense, Katie.
I hold my hands up to that wholeheartedly, and obviously I don't expect people to trust me. I don't expect people to even want to watch me anymore. If you're someone that is upset with me, that is perfectly reasonable. It was a stupid decision and I made that decision, and I'm old enough to know better.
Katie and Lewis both include this part in their apology video, and bro, cry me a river. This whole I was stupid and I understand if you want to unsubscribe, such manipulative bullshit. It's like cheating on someone and then talking about how much of a piece of shit you are and telling them you understand if they want to break up. You clearly also don't think you are stupid. You're just recycling the comments calling you stupid because you know that's what people want to hear. If Katie genuinely believed she was in the wrong here, she would not be spending so much time justifying why she did everything she did. She would not be deflecting the reason she is being called out. I do not believe that any of these apologies are real or truthful. I believe this is the first time they both genuinely got shit for spreading false accusations and didn't know how to handle it, hence the very similar wordings in the apology videos. I would not be surprised if they had sat down and talked about these videos before filming them, and I would not be surprised if Katie was still kind of manipulating Lewis into saying certain things to make her look good, like she was doing during his live stream. Hence why he said something about her during his video, defending her and saying she wasn't really to blame. She didn't say anything about him though. I think the moral of all this unnecessary brainwash drama is YouTubers need to actually care about the videos they make and do proper research instead of recycling the first accusations they see solely because they want views. That is the end of my video, and thank you for listening to me yap. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and feel free to like or even subscribe.